So I enjoyed this chapter, and it's not because I'm me. I legitimately did. And I know that a lot of people probably have an issue with this chapter, due to the delays, the hype, and mainly you expecting to see Tatsumaki versus Sairochi. And I understand, I get it, but also this chapter is completely necessary. I really like that One and Murata are deciding to go into this direction with the series. And this started, I don't know, a couple years ago with like the Super Fight tournament when they were like really revamping the series and really giving it a lot more depth, much needed, of course. Mainly to supplement the story for like anime adaptations and stuff like that. But also the webcomic is very short and concise compared to the manga, so there's a lot of room for expansion there. But up until this point, things have kind of just been going more or less the same way that the webcomic has. I mean, of course, there's a lot of different things that have happened in the manga. But up until this point, it's just been hitting like the same story beats and stuff like that from the webcomic, and it hasn't really been changing its direction. But I think that is all going to change from this chapter on. And of course, I could be wrong, but hear me out. This comes to Metal Bat, who is back in this chapter, and I'm very excited. Metal Bat is the reason why I'm bringing up all of this, because he is unfortunately benched for this entire arc in the webcomic. In fact, we don't see Metal Bat again for a very long time. So that's why he's had so much depth added to him in the manga so far. Because, One likes this character. He's a great character, and he wants more to happen with him. And I feel like this is going to be another drastic change to the story with Metal Bat coming into the battle here. Also, another thing that I want to point out is that One was asked about Metal Bat, and this was a couple years ago. I think it was around like when season 1 came out, and this was in an interview. Basically, somebody was like, what if Metal Bat was around during the Monster Association battle? Because, of course, it had already happened at that point in the webcomic. It's been, wrapped up for many years now. And One said that the situation against the Monster Association would have changed if Metal Bat was around. And Metal Bat wasn't joking when he said he could take care of a dragon level threat. So I'm thinking that this might have been One like planting the seed right then and there in that interview. And maybe he actually convinced himself that like, you know what? Metal Bat's a great character. I want him in this battle, so I'm adding him to it. And I'm thinking he might take down a cadre with this information. Now, all of the fights, we've been talking about this, the webcomic, we already know all the fights and all that stuff. So at this point, it's hard to say like what Metal Bat would do, who he would go against, but I'm thinking that everything might change at this point. And, the story might just be straight up retconned, and Metal Bat, like I said, just might take down a cadre in a crazy turn of events that none of us really expected. So I'm pretty much expecting big things from Metal Bat from this point on. But other things have happened in this chapter as well, so let's get into them. So, like, Moomin Rider randomly gets a name reveal, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've ever been privy to his name. Like, I don't think it was in a data book or anything like that. It wasn't mentioned in the webcomic, wasn't mentioned in interviews. This is like the first time. His name's Satoryu. That's cool. Moomin Rider's a G. But he's also teaming up with Tank Top Master here. So, just like with Metal Bat, this also does not happen in the webcomic. This is a complete diversion. We don't really know where this is headed. But unlike Metal Bat, who I do think is going to head straight into ground zero into the battle, I don't think Moomin Rider and Tank Top Master are going to do that here. And I mean, they're kind of spelling it out for us what they're going to do. They're going to be, is saving people because, first of all, there's definitely some casualties in Tatsumaki pulling that base out of the ground. And I know that a majority of it was in the Ghost Town portion, but come on. There has to be some people that have been affected by it. So, I mean, I guess that's where we're going with Moomin Rider and Tank Top Master. And I also, their rescue and evacuation and all that stuff. And I like that they're expanding this aspect of hero duties in the One Punch Man world, because we hardly ever really see that. It's kind of just like heroes go and fight the monsters and that's it. As we're like in other series like My Hero Academia, there's many aspects of being a hero, not just being super powerful and taking down the villains. You also have to save people, evacuation, stuff like that. And I mean, it also goes into the whole deeper narrative that the Hero Association just sucks. Not the S-Class, but like the association itself. And that's why things are the way that they are. But I'm just liking this moment. So the Tank Toppers, we're getting more development on them, which I like. Give me all the development on all the characters. I mean, why not? Give the series as much depth as they possibly can. That's what I was talking about in the beginning of this review. I love chapters like this because, you know, it's like we don't want like a shallow series, guys. I mean, yeah, we want the big fights, we want the big battles, we want the big moments, but also, you know, those battles are big because they've had time to develop. And we need chapters like this to make moments significant. Oh, and also there's like a new Tank Topper revealed here, Tank Top Professor, who's pretty cool. And also we're getting some extended dialogue from Tank Top Girl here, who I don't think has really said anything before, maybe. I mean, we've seen her here and there in like volume artwork and stuff. But I don't know. It's always nice to develop more female characters. So they're going to go... and I assume join Tank Top Master and Moomin Rider. So they're going to have that little group that we can focus on with the evacuation and rescue and all that stuff. And then we come to the Blizzard group, who was straight up put in the hospital by Tatsumaki. There's got to be some kind of violation here with the Hero Association. Like, they should just report Tatsumaki to the executives or something. And I know that it wouldn't do anything because it goes back to how the Hero Association is corrupt. But they also see the news and they decide to try to meet up with Fubuki. Now, I don't know what the Blizzard group's going to do here. If they wind up in Ground Zero, obviously they're going to get vaporized. So maybe they'll like link up with Moomin Rider and Tank Toppers or something like that. And then maybe they'll all work together. I don't know, but they should definitely not try to fight anyone, not even the fodder guys. Just stay away from them. But then we're coming to the other big reveal, and that is Suiryu, baby. He's back in the actual, you know, chapters of the manga. This is not the first time that he's been reintroduced in the manga. Like last year, like, I don't know, October, November, somewhere around there, and I think it was volume 21's bonus chapter. We got to see Suiryu for the first time post martial arts tournament. And I mean, that was only 4 pages, so we just got to see a glimpse of him. He was still talking about being a hero and all that stuff. He was doing like one-armed push-ups, so a much more somber Suiryu in this chapter, but also like a completely revamped Suiryu. Like, this is full-blown post-character arc Suiryu, and I'm totally digging it. You know, the way that he's talking to Lin, who's great in this chapter, and the other ones about, you know, about the conviction and all that stuff, and he's remembering like Snack and Lightning Max stepping up to fight Gogetsu when they had no business, and of course I'm sure, you know, he was definitely influenced by Saitama mainly. So, and then of course he says, "I want to become a hero." So this is awesome. And if you were wondering, like, okay, is Suiryu coming back into the story? Is he going to join the Hero Association? You know, what's he going to do? I think it's laying it out right here. He is definitely going to be in the future of this story. So then we come back to the Saitama and Flashy show, and it's funny as usual. And of course, you know, we can't forget about Mike Wazowski, who is apparently no longer Mike Wazowski, because we got the name of this character in the chapter, and it is Monaka, which I guess also means eyeball. Also, shout out to anyone who knows Monaka from Dragon Ball Super. Kind of similar characters almost. And also, Monaka is a girl, which is interesting, right? Maybe that's going to go somewhere. I don't know. Maybe they're going to reverse monsterification Monaka. I don't know. All of this little development here, especially giving this character a name, pretty sure Monaka is going to survive this arc, like what I've been saying throughout the chapters up until this point. And then maybe, I don't know, something happens. There's got to be some significance to this character other than just adding more depth to the dynamic between Flashy and Saitama here, and, you know, giving more comedic moments. But, you know, them pulling the rocks out and it dropping on Saitama's head, hilarious. Everything else, you know, is just fine with this sequence. And I like that Saitama is being friendly with Monaka. Gives more insight into Saitama. Can't go too much into that because it's spoilers, but I will make a video about why Saitama is so friendly with monsters like this. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. Guys, Like I said in the beginning, I know this wasn't the banger you were hoping it was, but I still hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you liked the review, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon, gives you access to a weekly Q&A, and if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.